The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV. Hot topics, food, fun, entertainment, and serious business. Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese.
It ain't easy being green, especially when you're yellow and afraid of nothing. We're glad you joined us here on Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese. Of course, the man of the hour, well, actually the next 15 minutes or so, Ken Foos of Exotic Pets. He always brings amazing, amazing beasts of burden and not burden to be on the show. And today we're doing something a little different. We've had reptiles, we've had snakes, we've had all kinds of things. We're going to have birds soon to come, but we're going to branch out a little bit, and today, Ken is bringing frogs. Okay, details really quickly, because you're going to be totally enthralled by this. Exotic Pets is on Decatur, really close to the North Las Vegas airport, right off of Rancho. Go in there, even if you're not going to buy anything, you just have to go in there and just see the amazing array of exotic pets that he has. But today, we are doing frogs. What do we have here?
Well, this is an albino. It's a funny name. It's an albino Pac-Man frog.
Why Pac-Man?
Because it does this.
Ah, I see.
And they're technically, this is an Argentine horned frog. It comes from Argentina, and there are several different species of horned frogs found throughout South America. This, of course, is an albino, which in the trade we call this an albino. It's not really an albino because
I was going to say it's quite yellow. Yeah.
So what this is what we call here. Here's your word for the day. It is amelanistic.
Amelanistic, meaning it doesn't have any melanin?
Correct.
It's sort of like the Caucasian version of an African-American frog?
Exactly.
Okay.
It is missing all its black pigment.
I'm not being PC.
No. It is missing all its black pigment. So in nature, this would be a green frog.
Okay.
With a lot of black. And then some yellow and browns mixed in. Well, you take away the black, and all you end up with is two different shades of yellow.
Wow.
I don't know what will happen if I open this.
Okay, go ahead. Because he's a little antsy being confined there.
He's not happy.
Right. So now, how big would his natural, like if you're going to have him as a pet, how much space, how big of a habitat? No, baby, don't go to freedom. John, he's escaping. Okay, the other shot. There he is.
Okay, he's going to get about yay big. Probably weigh several pounds. He is 90% stomach and mouth.
What does that mean?
That means
he's sort of like a bulldog, like the frog, the amphibian version of a bulldog.
He could swallow something almost his same size right now.
Wow.
They're the voracious eaters. They'll eat anything they can catch and swallow, including their own species. But they'll eat snakes, they'll eat lizards, they'll eat insects, they'll eat small birds if a bird came down to the ground. They'll eat almost anything. They get huge. They're constantly eating, which is why they're called the Pac-Man frog, because that's a trade name someone made up. But in the wild, some are endangered, depending on which species and where they're from. But in captivity, this is obviously a captive-bred animal. In captivity, these things are quite prolific, and people breed them by the tens of thousands.
Okay, so are they the rabbits of the frog world?
Well, frogs are.
Whoa!
And there he goes. He's fine.
He is now, just so we have two other guests here in the studio. We've got Chef Michelle, who's going to talk about holiday food. She's off to the side, and her platters of food. She's just kind of screamed because the frog is going in her direction. We also have Mystic Mona, who is very calm and who's going, I can see in my future the frog is not going to jump on me.
Is he still moving, or is he
still moving? He's hanging out.
We'll just let him hang out. We'll just let him hang out for now.
Hang tight, Chef Michelle. Chef Michelle's sort of going like,
no, they can't get hurt.
So what else do we have here today? Now, okay, first of all, before we let does he have a name yet?
No.
Okay. How old is he, and why would somebody want a voracious frog as a pet?
Well, he's about a year old, and when they start out, they're about the size of this. They're little frogs.
Okay, so let's put this one over here so that we can get a little close-up shot of him.
I don't think these guys don't really jump too much.
They don't jump too much? All right, put him there. Maybe we can get a close up. So he started out that size?
Yes.
No way.
Now this is full grown, but he started out that size. So anyway, horned frogs. The neat thing about horned frogs is all they do. You give them a tank, like a 20-gallon tank or something, and put some dirt in it. They dig a hole in the dirt and sit there.
Right.
And then when they take a dump, they move.
Smart frog.
Yeah, and they dig a new hole, and then you've got to take the poop out. And what you do is you throw food in.
Yeah.
That would eat like live mice, crickets, whatever.
Well, is there a reason why he's hopping towards Chef Michelle's platters of food? Does he sense that?
No, he's just trying to get away from us.
Oh, okay.
Because he doesn't like us.
He doesn't see her as bait off to the side of the
He doesn't even see her as an animal or anything. It just wanted to get away.
She's a sexy beast in a whole other sense. Okay, so now what is the frog we're looking at now?
So this is an African. They call this a lot of different names. It's called a rubber frog, a rubber band frog, a walking frog. They don't really move too much. And this is a male. The females get a little bit bigger than these. It comes from Central Africa. Unfortunately, no one's really breeding these too much, so these were imports.
Well, quite frankly, that's just like not a whole lot of frog. I mean, if you get a frog that small, does it get any bigger than that?
No, he's pretty much full grown.
Well, then, okay. Trust me, I'm not trying to be mean to all of the exotic pet people, but some of these pets I'm going like, why? And this is one of them. That thing is so dang tiny. Why would you have it even as a pet?
Oh, the smaller the better. You can keep more, and they don't take up a lot of space.
But what do they do?
That's it.
Exactly. That's my point. It's not gonna. At least this one hopped for freedom and is headed over to Chef Michel.
Yeah, but he doesn't normally do anything either.
I think he just thinks she's sexy, and that's why he's over there. But this one's just sitting there.
But yeah, but you don't have to walk them.
This is true.
They're easy to feed.
He's not pooping that you have to clean up behind.
Well, he'll poop a little bit, but you just scoop it out.
Okay.
But they. He's getting ready to do something.
He's on the move.
He's getting ready to do something. Here it comes. This is exciting.
You're like, no paparazzi. Yeah.
This is exciting.
I love this.
He's getting a shot of the butt.
Ooh,
so
that was a lot of motion right there.
This is just set up a naturalistic terrarium with live plants and a waterfall and stuff. And what I like to do and tell people to do is just set up a really neat tropical tank with the waterfalls and the plants and the natural light and the rocks and everything, and make it really, really pretty. This is icing on the cake. Then you set him in there.
Right.
And
then he just kind of sits there.
They're not
like,
real destructive like that thing that hopped away. He tears everything up. This guy is very, very
sort of like Mike Peters.
Timid and very very gentle. And,
he's so sweet.
And they do really, really well in captivity. All you got to do is basically feed them and water them. They can't take extreme heat.
Okay.
But they like it cooler.
And for all those people who are watching and who you can't see, there are little air holes that are drilled all around these containers, so they're breathing.
We actually buy these cups with the holes already pre-drilled.
Perfect. No harm is being done to any of the amphibians shown here today.
So now these will probably jump.
Yay.
But I tried to cover all the continents. That was Africa.
Okay.
The other was South America.
Right.
These are...
Oh, this one's already trying to get out.
Yeah, these are what we call whites.
If you can hold them right down there so John can get the close
These are
up.
what we hear. I'll just set them right here.
Right.
These are what we call whites tree frogs. These come from us.
Oh, there he goes.
These come from Australia. When they're older, let go of me. He wants to climb on me. When they're a little bit older, they'll become much more blue. They get about this big.
And now, see, I've seen pictures. When you say tree frogs, are there different?
Oh, there's many different.
Yeah, I was going to say, just tree frog is just like one generic term for a whole species.
Yeah, this comes from northern Australia, near the Darwin area. Like I said, they get huge. They get like this big. It is actually
the biggest two hands together.
Yes, it is actually known as one of the best pet frogs in the world because they don't. Normally, they get used to you and they don't run away. But see, here's this guy here.
What a cutie pie! Yeah.
And they're very, very nice. And this is probably one of the best pet frogs in the world.
Wow! So they can you handle them? You know, they're actually moving around.
You don't want to handle any frogs too much.
Why?
They breathe mostly through their skin.
Oh, okay.
And the oil from our skin, when you pick them up, tends to block their pores, and it makes it more difficult for them to breathe.
Wow. Okay.
So, for example, many people have said, "I've never seen my frog drink." It's because a lot of the moisture goes through their skin, but when they want a really big drink of water, They go down to the water bowl and they stick their butts in the water bowl.
No.
And they suck it up. They suck it up through their anus. So they primarily drink through their butt.
When you tell the frog to suck it up, it's quite literal.
But they literally, a lot of frogs. I don't know if these are old enough to have them. Come back here. A lot of frogs have these pads.
You hold it right down here so John can get
on the belly.
Right.
And that's
down just a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a very permeable area here.
See there?
Oh, there.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know.
Go back there. There it is. Like this way.
John,
work with us here. John's like, I don't know. It's somewhere over. It's actually over here, closer over this way. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
All right. So anyway, there's a little pad on the belly, and that's where they suck up a lot of the water too. But they literally will. Yes, I know. Right. They literally will drink through their butts, and
this is amazing.
It's efficient.
Right? Yes, very much so.
Now,
you're going to go there anyway, so you might as well do both.
One of my favorite frogs are these. These are golden mantellas.
And you say golden, but they look like red hot chili peppers.
Yeah, they're really pretty, aren't they? These are full grown.
That's it, huh?
This is as big as they get. They're from Madagascar, and they're getting a little bit scarce.
Why is that?
Mostly from deforestation, because Madagascar, they're eating their country alive.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about, do they even have any rainforest left, which is so
they,
sad?
They do. I've been there, and there's a lot of rainforest left, but not as much as there was.
Right.
And of course, they run into you're running into a totally different situation there in South America and Central America and Borneo and places like that. They're chopping down the forest for agriculture.
Right.
In Madagascar, they have nothing to cook food with or heat their homes with. So what they're doing is they're chopping down the forest and burning the logs and turning it into charcoal.
Wow.
So they can survive.
Oh, so theirs is a survival as opposed to capitalist money-making.
Well, it's all survival. I mean, unfortunately, you have places like Borneo where they're chopping down the rainforest and planting palm oil.
Right. Okay.
Don't buy palm oil. Bad. And of course the orangutans and all that stuff are disappearing because it was a really interesting thing on the internet of an orangutan sitting on a tree that had just been chopped down, fighting with a bulldozer. He was hitting it and fighting it because they just knocked down his house. And of course there was nothing that could be done. Right. But there, that's purely profit. But in places like in Latin America, these people are chopping down the forest to grow crops, to survive. So there's a little bit of a difference. In Madagascar, it's really pathetic because these people have nothing. And for us, who have cut down 3/4 of our forests in the United States, to go to these people and say, how dare you cut down your trees just so you can live? So, well, it's hypocritical, and the point is these people have nothing.
Right. Well, before we go any further, to just really briefly touch on this, because I know this is a passion of yours, and it kind of drives me crazy too. The argument that I hear from so many people here in the United States when it comes to exotic animals, they're like, oh, you shouldn't get them out of their natural habitat, and you shouldn't be breeding them in captivity. And my thing is, just in the time I've been hanging out with you and other folks who have exotic pets, my eyes have been open to the fact that in many of the places where these animals and reptiles are coming from, they're losing their habitats anyway because of, in many cases, profit-making ventures that originate from the United States.
Yeah, well, and the joke, of course, is people say, well, we're captive breeding these for pets. All right. There's no illusion. We're not breeding these to reintroduce them into Madagascar. There's nothing left.
Right. You can't take them back.
There's no place for them to go. So these are, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, oh, we're trying to save the species. These are pets. Yes, we are genetically saving the species, but the idea of breeding animals and reintroducing them into the wild anywhere in the world, that's a pipe dream. That's a joke. It happens on very, very rare occasions. The coqui frog in Puerto Rico is a good example. A lot of zoos have been breeding those and have been releasing them back into the wild, and the species is returning. Right. Of course, now after these hurricanes and stuff, I don't know what the status is now. I have a friend, though, that specializes in Caribbean frogs, and they've been breeding tens and tens of thousands of these frogs and reintroducing them. But that's a very rare thing. These will never be reintroduced. There is no place left.
They can't go home. There's no home to go home to.
No, and mantellas are found only in Madagascar. There's about 10 different species. This is one of the rarer ones. We actually took these home to breed them, not to save the species, but we're breeding them to sell the babies so that we don't have to export anymore from Madagascar. They're getting harder and harder to get anyway. The quotas are very, very low. Most of the collectors in Madagascar are European. So almost all the animals collected in Madagascar go to Europe first, which is fine because the Europeans are about 10 years ahead of us on frog breeding.
Really?
Yeah, they're really good. And but by the time we get to our selection, most of the good stuff's already taken.
Right. And just tell me if I'm wrong on this one, just really quickly. When we talk about saving a species, take a look just the two species that kind of stick out for me in the United States being really proactive. Take a look at the eagles that were being hunted and killed, and it took stopping the hunting to actually have those populations replenished. And then wolves. You know, when people were just killing wolves willy-nilly, now they're kind of a problem.
Well, the thing with the eagles, more than the hunting, because that was illegal for years anyway, it was the DDT. When we banned DDT, DDT was causing thin eggshells, and when she'd lay her eggs and the egg would break when it hit the nest. The banning of DDT saved a lot of birds. Another good example, you got alligators.
Yes.
Alligators are way come back, and to
kind
the
of
point,
a problem.
to the point where they're a nuisance. But I mean, the Endangered Species Act for the United States has done wonders.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they put other animals on the endangered species list that don't live in the United States, and that's bad.
Right.
And it's causing more damage than it is supposed to.
And I just really wanted to bring that up for those folks who are watching, have watched segments when we've had Ken on. Take a look at the broader picture a lot of times, I think, especially not just with exotic pets, but even sometimes we had Amy Clatterbuck on from the Nugget Inn. She rescues pit bull puppies.
Right.
And so sometimes the rescue efforts or the efforts to really help a species are seen as not really good by people who don't really understand the bigger picture.
Well, and like I said, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say we're breeding these or selling these to save the species.
Right. Now, what are these? These are gorgeous.
This is the poster child.
Oh, there you go. Love it. I wait for these moments.
This is the poster child of frogs. This is
a
red-eyed tree frog. You see these everywhere, you know, all over.
Because they're so colorful.
This is like one of the poster child for Costa Rica. They got those brilliant red eyes and the blue down the sides.
They look like a frog tennis shoe. Love it.
Ready?
Right. See, there we go.
He'll molest you.
Okay. I wait for these moments. Will they get bigger than this?
Yes, actually, males don't get much bigger than this. Females will get the size of your hand.
Right.
When I saw my first adult female in the wild, she was about this big around, and the male was on her back in amplexus, trying to get her to breed. And I was I'd never seen a red-eyed tree frog that big in my life because we don't make them that big here.
Right.
These are captive bred, so there are people that do have the big ones,
Over here,
but I've never seen a big one.
There he's going. He's escaping. Okay, hold on here. Yeah, the brother is moving toward the end of the table. Whoa, there we go. Yes, on the.
And see how he walks.
Wants to be a star. Look at this.
And see how he walks. This is why they call them monkey frogs.
Monkey frogs.
They walk kind of like monkey-ish.
That is so cute. Look at this. Is that darling or what?
And now when they sleep, they tuck their arms in and close their eyes, and all you see is a blue leaf.
Are you serious? Look at that. No? Yeah.
No.
This way.
Test. So anyway, these are pretty cool.
Yeah. All right.
But we got
a couple more to take a look at.
One more, and then we're done.
Yeah. And we still haven't recovered poor baby who's like somewhere between us and Michelle. Chef Michelle can see him. So.
Okay. All right, one more, and this is the interesting one. This is the interesting one. Well, to me it is.
He's huge.
This is a Colorado river toad. Sometimes they call him a snoring toad. This is actually native to the United States.
Now, I'm not going to try to handle this one because Ken says that he's a little toxic.
Yes.
How so?
So
there he goes. He's heading toward John. What does that mean?
Well, that means he's trying to get away from us. They get bigger than this. They're found in.
He's on the side of the tape. Oh, he's going to freedom.
He's gonna dump.
He's jumping.
He's found in California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Mexico.
So this is our American frog you got
It's
here.
the biggest, except for the bullfrog. It's the biggest amphibian we have in the United States.
Wow.
This is what they call the licking toad.
Why so?
Well, they're very toxic. See the bumps on the back behind the eyes?
Oh!
Oh,
He's gone.
I'll chase him.
Hold on 1 second. The bumps
That's
behind
okay.
his eyes. Now, at this point, folks, you have to know that we've got the albino frog over here. We've got the licking toad that'll kill you over here. And I'm sitting in the middle.
All right, so
Stuck in the middle again.
so anyway, the bufotoxin is very toxic.
Yes?
The whole purpose of it is, if a dog or a coyote or a badger or a bobcat or something grabs this toad, it tastes very, very bad, and they spit it out. If they're too stupid to realize what's going on, they will swallow it, and the bufotoxin will kill the animal. It's very, very toxic.
Wow.
Many, many years ago in Arizona, a young boy about 4 or 5 years old picked up a small one and stuck it in his mouth.
Why would somebody do that?
Well, he's a
He's a
4 or 5
four.
year old kid.
Yeah.
And
He's a boy.
And he spit it out, and he died several hours later.
No. Just
So-
from the toxins of the
yes.
skin and everything?
So they're very potent, but this is the animal that someone somewhere down the road discovered if you lick them, you can get high.
No way.
So this is
Wait a minute. Okay. What is the thought process that someone would think about licking the frog? So, okay. Well, someone.
That's okay.
We're gonna go. We'll catch him at the end because we got to wrap.
all right. Well, so the thing is, people kill them and dry the skin, and they sniff it.
Oh, okay.
They'll smoke it. They'll turn it into a liquid.
Who was the first person who did that? Right. I mean, there's got to be a first person who said, "No, this is a
Got
good
to be
idea."
someone really cool, man. but these are fairly common throughout the Southwest. They're protected throughout their range. You've got to have a permit to collect them, and but they're pretty darn cool. I took him last because I didn't want to touch the other animals because the toxins will transfer.
Sure. Yeah.
And the other, all frogs, all amphibians have some degree of toxin, but I went from the least toxic to the most toxic. And
Here's the cool thing: you can go see these animals up close and personal for yourself at Exotic Pets. One of the things I love about having them on is just to get the word out. We don't have anything resembling a real zoo here in Southern Nevada. This is as close as it gets when you come to Exotic Pets. On any given day, you will be amazed at what you see. I think one of the first few times I first started hanging out with Ken, I was there doing a news story, and this animal starts hopping by, and of course he doesn't used to be there. It's like, what is that? He goes, it's a wallaby. And I almost fell off my heels at that time when I was still wearing heels. I thought, oh my gosh, this man has a wallaby hopping through the store.
see how they sleep.
Oh my gosh, they're like, oh my gosh, they're flat.
So that's kind of interesting. You see the two different.
Look at this, guys. It's sort of like
it looks like a leaf.
Yes, look at that. It looks like a leaf. Is it close enough down? Am I holding it in the right place? Let me see. Hold on. I'll keep moving. Oh, there it is. Look. Yes, it looks like a little leaf laying there.
That's the awake and that's the asleep. And that's how they camouflage themselves during the day, and then they come out at night.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, that is so adorable. Okay, your location again, and what are your hours?
We're at 2410 North Decatur, which is right on the corner of Decatur and Smoke Ranch. We're open from 10 to 7 every day except Sunday, 11 to 5. We've got thousands of animals.
You got your website too. People can
We
go
got
on.
exoticpetslv.com. You can also catch us on Facebook. Same thing, Exotic Pets LV. And we get hundreds of new animals in every day. We just got in 30 crimson day geckos this morning, which come from Madagascar.
Wow.
But they were captive bred in Berkeley.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ken. Once again, it's always fantastic to have you on. Appreciate it so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
I'll go collect my toads now.
We'll be right back in just a few moments. And Chef Michelle is still safe. So she has a lot of great tips for the upcoming holidays, things that you can make at home and keep your folks entertained. And we're not doing frog legs at all, so stick around.
Here he comes.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tip's about tire maintenance, how to check a tire, how to fill it properly. Okay, so as we can see, we've got a low tire. We probably saw that a month ago and said we'll fill it, but like everything, we let a day go by, next thing you know, we got a problem. Properly check a tire, remove the valve cover, got a tire gauge, simply put it on there, and it'll read the pressure down at the bottom in PSI, pounds per square inch. We can see here that this is so low, it's barely reading. There's probably 10 pounds in it at best. So how do we properly inflate it? Well, we're going to need an air chuck. Go down to the local store or come by the shop. We'll use this tool to inflate it. And that sounds like that's all we need to do. But we need to know how much to inflate it to, because overinflated is just as bad as underinflated. We can look at the tire, and on here we're going to find a cold pressure rating rated in PSI. And it's going to say anywhere from 32 to 80 pounds depending on the vehicle. We'll want to find that so we know the maximum inflation cold. We're going to look until we find the load rating. And here we find the maximum PSI is 44 PSI, pounds per square inch cold. We don't want to fill it any more than that, but we don't want to underfill it either. We want to fill it to 44. So it seems like checking the air pressure is no big deal. It's not. It's really simple to do, but we want to make sure we got the correct pressure. How do we find that? Let me show you. We open the door and we locate the sticker. It's usually right here. It could be down on the lower rocker, but it's on the driver's side. And after we look around, we'll see right here it says 35 PSI. That's the pressure that the tire requires that was sold with the vehicle. But if you change the tires later to a high-performance tire, mud and snow or anything else, look at the cold pressure on the side of the tire to make sure you're properly inflated. This could be 35 today, but we get a performance tire, it's 44, 45, or even higher. We'll want to make sure we're inflating the tire properly. A couple of things you're going to need if you're checking your own tires: tire gauge and a rag, because you are going to get a little dirty. If you don't want to do that, I don't blame you. Bring it to the shop, we'll check it for you. We'll do a whole inspection on the vehicle if you like. We'll check the tires, make sure you're safe. This can save you a lot of time and keep you safe. Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we got lots of food and lots of time. Chef Michelle Basinski of M&M Foods has survived the onslaught of the albino frog, who actually was really cool under the set until the commercial break, and then he started hopping again in her direction. By this time, she's totally cool, going, "Come on, baby." It's like, really? Just that fast? You never know what you're going to run into when you show up on this show, do you? And I asked her on, I said, "No, we're not doing frog legs." And the frog was like, I think he kind of sensed the food because he was kind of hopping in that direction, but he was going to wait. But thank you.
Everybody loves my food.
Everybody loves your food. You know, exotic pets love your food. Everybody does. Thank you for being on the show today. We're getting close to the holidays. I know you're really busy because you're a private chef. You do a lot of catering. But what I love about the work that you do is that your food is just really understandable. It's comfort food. You know, you can do the really fancy schmancy stuff, but I really like a lot of the stuff that you like. I feel like I could maybe do this, even though I won't. And the way you present your meals is really so friendly. People don't feel like they're coming into something where they have to be, you know, I'm scared to touch this because, you know.
Yeah, no. Well, food's simplicity. Mm-hmm. That's when you're making food, it should be simple and easy. There shouldn't be 25 ingredients in a recipe. I've studied Julia Child's recipes and stuff, and I love Julia Child's. Mm-hmm. I worship her, okay? But I've looked at some of those recipes, and I'm like, why is there 45 ingredients in this recipe when you can only do, you know?
Yeah. And as a chef, I mean, your kitchen is already supplied with every conceivable spice and everything. But for most of us, we might only have a handful of things online. So I don't want to go out and buy like a whole bottle of spice for a meal. I might only cook once or twice.
Well, and like I said, everybody should be able to cook everything. Mm-hmm. It's not just about only the chef can cook this. Mm-hmm. No. I would rather pass on a recipe to somebody and have them enjoy it for the rest of their life, and not worry about, hey, do I need to call a chef to make this? That's not what food's about. Food's about enjoying it and having fun with it and being able to say, hey, I made that. Chef Michelle showed me how to make that, and I can make it just like she did. You know, that's the whole point.
You do a series of classes for the Southwest
Oh, Southwest Medical's
Medical
lifestyle
the
centers.
life centers. They've got one out in Summerlin, there's one in Henderson, and I've gone to many of those classes because, of course, you know, I got a nosh. But what I love about the classes, and when I can see the reception from the people who take the classes, they're like, oh, I could make this. And the way you break it down for them, these are easy, fast things you can do at home. And so I wanted some tips going into the holidays. Once again, easy, fast dishes people can do at home, don't require a lot of prep, and actually can keep in the refrigerator. You can make them ahead.
Exactly.
So what have you got for us?
Well, okay. First of all, I made a nice hot new recipe. I mean, it can be changed to anything you want. Now, I made an Italian style one, which is basically, I call it my lasagna dip.
Now this is over there in our
in
black
the nice
pot
crock
there.
here. And what that is, now you can do it in a crock, or you can do it, see these little dishes that are on
Can
here?
we possibly just get like a closer look at, actually, if you can pull it over and we can tip it toward the camera here so people can kind of get a look at it. Now this is like, it looks so just like, it might be a little bit tough to do, but that's okay.
Okay.
But it probably like,
Chef
we should have
Michelle's
probably had the frogs on less,
Yes,
and
okay.
they could really benefit from this.
Chef
But this is
Michelle's
somebody they can do it at home, they can do it in their crock pot. It's not like something that requires fancy dishes that you don't already have on hand.
Right.
Right.
Now, and see this little, or you can put it in something like this and put it in the oven. See
Right.
the
Yes,
the
very
dish
easy.
here. But the crock is great because, you know, if you have small crocks like this, throw it in and it's done.
Yes.
Okay.
How many ingredients?
1, 2, 3. 3 ingredients.
Right. So if you know you're going to have folks, especially around the holidays, it's not just the things that you're planning. You have people dropping by. You've got something that can easily be turned around for the folks that you're not expecting.
Now I call this the lasagna dip, which is basically your favorite spaghetti sauce already in a jar. It's got all the seasoning in it, so remember that. That's already seasoned. I used a basil, garlic, and Italian flavored one. And I got that, and I put it to the side. I just set it over there. Then I bought some Italian sausage. Now you put it in a saucepan, and you brown it. Don't hard brown it. When I mean by don't hard brown, that means don't overcook it.
It gets crusty.
Yeah, you don't want it hard. You want it gently browned.
Because it's going to still cook some more in the sauce as well.
And if you hard brown it, it's going to be hard and current. It's just going to be nasty. Right. And you want the flavor of the sauce to permeate and enter the meat. So you don't want it hard browned. You just want it so it browns it enough.
Wow.
And then you put it together. And then I added some Parmesan. I'm sorry, there was 4 ingredients. I added the Parmesan to that too. And then
easy. Really easy.
And then that's all you mix together first. The other thing you need, you can either use ricotta cheese or you can use cottage cheese. Okay?
Huh.
You know, if you can't find ricotta cheese, go and get some cottage cheese. Just kind of drain it a little bit, and I layered it. I put the ricotta cheese on the bottom, or cottage cheese. And then I put a little sauce, and then I put in another layer of ricotta cheese.
Just like lasagna, you're doing the layers.
Exactly. No noodles, just meat and cheese. And then I put a layer of Parmesan on the top, and there you go. And the things that you can serve this with, which I really loved, cheese sticks.
The cheese sticks with the cheese.
Cheese sticks.
Fabulous.
You know, and or you can use just chips. You can use crackers. You can use these little breads here that I have in the front here. And those you can buy already ready-made.
Like
you don't even have to make them. You can buy those at Smith's.
Yeah.
Already cut, already flavored, already everything. You know, it's just a baguette that's been cut up and already seasoned for you. And you can use them as dips. And if there's leftovers, what you do is just make yourself a bowl of noodles, and there you go. You have a casserole, basically. But that's what I'm saying. But see, if you don't like meat either, just use mushrooms instead.
Ooh.
There you go. For those people that don't like to eat meat, you know. And
a lot of people are vegetarians and vegans.
You can use the
I'm
chunky
trying to move in that
sauces.
direction, but I'm just eating not as much meat as I used to.
Right. And sausage is great, but Mushrooms are really great too,
Yeah.
and you don't have to chop them up. Just cut them, or buy them sliced already, and throw them in there, and they're awesome. It's just fantastic.
Well, that's what I love about too. When you're going into the holidays, I think a lot of people are overwhelmed about like. I'm not sure if you guys remember from last year, but John Stiles. And he was reminding me today, is huge on Thanksgiving. He really loves to do turkeys, and he does a lot of that work. And as he was telling me about it, and I was watching him get all excited because turkey is his favorite thing, all I could think of was, oh my gosh, you know how much work that goes into, because I'm coming from that cheese tradition where, my gosh, to do a turkey, by the time you do the stuffing, it's all these steps, and it takes forever.
The easiest thing nowadays is you can buy just the turkey breast now and slice it. It's already cooked, basically.
Right.
You just warm it up and slice it. You don't even have to cook a whole turkey anymore. So, you know, nowadays there's no excuse for not having the kind of dinner you want, because you can go into the store and find almost anything available in the
Pre-sliced,
freezer,
sure.
pre-cooked. Everything, all you have to do is warm it. It's the easiest thing. Now, like these dips
The
here
dips
I
that
made.
you have, right.
I've got 2 dips here. One of your best friends during the holidays is cream cheese. You know why?
Mystic Mona is off to the side, nodding her head.
Cream cheese will take on the flavor of anything, and you can make any dip. I made 2 dips here for you.
Ooh.
I made one that's made with salmon, smoked salmon, which is already cooked. You don't have to cook the salmon. And one that's made with nothing but vegetables.
So
and
something
cream
for
cheese.
everybody.
Something for everybody. And what I did is I took, the smoked salmon, there's 3 ingredients in that. The cream cheese, some green onions, and the smoked salmon, you can buy it over in the fish area. It's about this big. And it's in a little package. It's got pepper on it and stuff. It's already seasoned. You don't have to add any seasoning. You put it in a chopper. You chop up your softened cream cheese, put it in there, and then put in the green onions that were cut and fit, and you mix it together and stick it in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours. It's always good to make the dips the day before, because then they have the flavors, you know. But I did that last night, and when you taste them, you'll see. But you can use anything. You can use vegetables for that dip. You can use crackers. You can use breads. You can use chips. You can do anything with that. And like I said, you don't have to just use the salmon. You can use turkey meat.
Okay.
Everything.
You
That's
heard that,
what
John?
I'm saying. Leftover
John's
ham.
back there nodding his head, going, yes, I can
You
get
can
behind
do all
that.
sorts of good things. With the vegetable one that I did, I put basil, tomato, and
This is on top of the cream cheese?
on top of the cream
Okay.
cheese. And I
So these are the base for both of these is cream cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
the basil and the tomato I put in the chopper first and chop that up.
Now, can you do it by hand, or does it take longer?
You can, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna mix as well because the pieces are gonna be too big.
Okay.
Okay, so chop up the basil, which you can buy already done. It's in Smith's in the little herb area where the mushrooms and everything is. In a little thing, it's already cut up.
Wow.
So you can buy it chopped, put it in with the tomatoes, put a little bit of either salt or Morton's seasoning, because that's got 6 different seasonings in it already.
Right.
And you put that in there and season those tomatoes and everything.
Now, okay, help me with the
cream cheese.
tomatoes, because my problem with my tomatoes is that they tend to get mushy, or how do you keep them from going
Okay,
too
here's
crazy?
what you do. You cut open. You use nice meaty tomatoes,
Right.
not the ones that have tons and tons of liquid. If you do, you cut them open. You take out the seeds with a spoon, and then just chop them into smaller pieces, and then put them into
that's how
the
you
chopper.
keep. So mine end up getting too juicy.
Yeah,
is that what I'm making?
you're leaving
okay.
you're leaving the juice in is what and the seeds in.
So you have to scoop those out, and then you have to
and just
firm.
take a little spoon
Okay.
and do that, and it comes right out.
Okay.
And then stick them in the chopper and chop them up together. Then add the cream cheese and mix that in with the chopper. And then you have a dip that goes on bread, goes on vegetables, goes on everything. And like I said, these seasonings, these vegetables and stuff that I put together, those are just my ideas. your idea, take cream cheese. What if you just want garlic and Parmesan and some other cheese in there? Hey, whatever your favorite stuff is.
Right.
That's what cream cheese is great for. It does everything that you always wanted, and it always takes on the flavor of what you need it to. It doesn't taste like a bunch of cream cheese. It tastes like whatever you've done.
And
then,
bottom line, easy, something you can make ahead of time, store it in your refrigerator, and just have it on hand if you want to. Just pop up if you've got people
cream cheese
dropping
is
in.
always one thing that you only have to have on hand. And remember, there's a lot of great stuff. Now, I took cream cheese one time, and I added the Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning in there. And then I added blue cheese to it, and I mixed it all together. And I had a blue cheese ranch dip my mother fell in love with that I had to give it to her. She just loved it.
Right.
So, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's only what your imagination will stop at. I mean, think of the things that you love to eat and your flavors and stuff. And fresh vegetables, like I said, I used fresh vegetables to make that dip. I didn't do anything else.
See, now I'm so stuck in the way I grew up with cream cheese was just cream cheese. I never thought of cream cheese as being the base for something else.
Yeah, well, it's a great spreader, great for spread.
Sure.
It's great for a dip. It's awesome. And if you want to loosen it to make it where it's a little looser, just add a little sour cream to it. You know, like for potato chips or something. Just add sour cream to it. It's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So now where can people find your recipes? Because I know you're doing the thing for Southwest Medical, and you've got your own company. You've got your own website. How can they find you?
Well, I'm sending you the recipes already, as far as that goes. But as far as my recipes go, all they have to do is go online, ask for Chef Michelle, and I'll give you any recipe you want.
Yeah.
You know, I am getting ready to do some holiday classes for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, and it's a series of 3 classes, or whatever you decide if you just want to take one of them. And it's going to be about sides, desserts, and appetizers.
Ooh.
So I'm doing that for Thanksgiving. I'm doing that for Christmas. And it's going to be great because I can come and do them at your house with a group of your friends, or you can come to my house with a group of friends or a group of students, and I'll do it that way. The classes start for single classes, it's $35. For the whole series, I'm going to do it for $75.
Fantastic. So
Isn't
people
that
can
awesome?
come.
Yeah.
And you know, guys, I'm not a foodie in the traditional sense of the folks who are like, no, I just really love food in general. So to be able to actually take a class and eat at the same time, that's what I love about the classes at Southwest Medical. Like, she forgot to tell me one day when you did the soups. I was like, devastated. It's like, I missed the soup class. Oh my gosh. Because it's just so neat to be able to eat something, to see the process, and to know. It's one thing when you like watch some of the shows on the Food Network and you think you can do it, but you know you're not going to be able to pull it off. But in her classes, you're sitting there and you know that this is something that you can do because we see you walking through it. We don't cut to the commercial break where you see the cast of thousands come in and do that. You see the prep work, you see the whole process, and you know I can do this in 20 minutes or so. And sometimes with the stuff I already have on hand.
Exactly. Well, it's like this. Now, you see I have these squash up here. Now, they look like little pumpkins, I know that, but they're squash. And one of the greatest things about squash is you can roast that in the oven. You just cut them in half, clean out the seeds, and put a little butter, and put a little either 5-spice or any kind of seasoning that you like. Now, you can go sweet with brown sugar and cinnamon, or you can go savory. It just depends on how you feel. But you roast those in the oven, and you can actually carve them out, take everything out of them, and make that pulp a nice little, like a mashed potato. It can be served like mashed potatoes.
That's
it can be,
fantastic.
it's awesome. And it's easy. It only takes like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to cook one of those cut in half in the oven at 400.
So glad you got us started with our holiday tips. Of course, you can go online to her website. She's got all her recipes there. I'll have it on my Facebook page as well. And you might want to stop by because the nice thing about the Southwest Medical, their living centers, is they're actually open and the classes are free. So
Exactly.
the next one that she has, go on their website too and see what's coming up. Pop in, see what you can do at home. It's fantastic. And this is great timing. Chef Michelle, thank you for being on.
Oh,
As
Anytime.
Always.
Yes.
M&M Love, look her up. We're going to be back in just a moment because Mystic Mona is on the side and she would like to sample some of this stuff, and so will I, so stick around.
You don't have to just email me. You can also call me too. So
You can call her.
I'm always available. So
I'll put a number on my site too.
have a great
We'll
day.
be right back.
Is life so hectic that you just don't have time to get all those projects around the house completed? Well, worry no more. Tinker's Handyman Service is here and ready to help you. Tinker's is a company you can depend on to be honest and reliable. What sets us apart from other companies? It's simple. We care. A reliable staff will help you with drywall repair, painting, popcorn ceiling removal, laminate and engineered wood flooring, also accent walls, crown molding, baseboard installs, cabinet and door repair, minor electrical and plumbing repairs, and more. Visit Yelp to see rave reviews from our satisfied customers. Call or text us today at 702-445-4812 for a fair and honest free estimate. Let Tinker's Handyman Service give you the free time you deserve. That number again is 702-445-4812. We're waiting for your call.
And we are back to talk about Night of the Witches. Woohoo! I looked up I was looking online, Wasper Burger or something, Wasper Notch. Anyway, talk about Night of the Witches. This is coming up on the 30th.
1 week from today.
1 week from today when we're taping this. So this is the night before Halloween, not before Christmas, the night before Halloween.
Right.
Now,
Halloween's Eve.
Yes, right.
Yes.
So Night of the Witches, this goes back centuries. This is not anything new. Yeah. So its origins are really within the earth and the seasons as well.
Well, it's the bringing in of fall.
Right.
Right. And the death of the harvest in a way. But here's the thing that prompted us to do it.
When you say us, Mystic Mona and her, not your coven. We're
No,
the folks. Right?
Us in the sense that all the proceeds benefit Help Us Southern Nevada. So my husband and I had gone to a bar in Reno, and there we are in this bar, and these women start showing up dressed like a witch. Another witch, a sexy witch, a goofy witch, sort of a famous Bette
Sexy
Midler
witch, goofy witch.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
Anyway, so but the funny thing is that by the time they all showed up, there was about 20 of them. And I walked up and I said, are you guys like going to a party? She goes, no, we are the party. She goes, we choose the place that has one of the best happy hour menus, and we all dress up like a witch and we show up. And this was in Reno. So I'm sitting there talking with friends about a year ago, but when we did the first Night of the Witches, and I said, wouldn't it be fun to have an excuse to dress up like a witch, show up, have, a cocktail for free, have it benefit, a charity? And they said, I'd go. So last year, we threw it together in 3 weeks last year. We had 100 ladies show up.
Wow.
A few men, too, which was kind of cool. And by the way, if you are into dressing up in drag, you also can be eligible for the costume contest. So the costume contest has 4 categories. Most original or creative witch, famous witch, scary witch, okay? And then we have best wizard for the guys, and then we have the best hat. So I actually made these for us today so that you could see a little sample of what a homemade little, these are fascinators, would look like. So, but the neat thing about it is that people really get into it. And as they're drinking, they even get more into it. So it's just a lot of fun. So, but we have the costume contest. So each of the categories win a $100 gift card, sponsored by Michelle Sullivan Real Estate, Luxury Real Estate. And then we have a bottle of champagne sponsored by Constellation Catering. So if you win either best hat or one of the categories, you get one of the gift cards and the bottle of champagne. Now, the best hat only gets a $50 gift card because it's only a hat.
Right.
Okay. Because some of these people really get into the costume contest. Oh, my gosh. So it's really very, very cool. We have an amazing raffle item. So our grand prize is a 3/4 carat diamond necklace valued at $1,700. That is our grand prize raffle. And it is, if you go to nightofthewitches.com, you can see this beautiful necklace. And then we have other big raffle prizes. So in years past, we would do a bunch of little raffle prizes. And if you just showed up, you had a really good chance of winning something, even if it was like a $10 gift card to Regal. But but we decided for this year that we would do 5 or 6 big prizes. So one of the big prizes is a 2-night staycation at the Red Rock Resort. It comes with a buffet on one of the days, but then you also get a dinner for 2 at Grape Street Cafe. Ooh. So it's the whole weekend. So you have Saturday night dinner, you stay the night, you do your spa day on Sunday. We're not including the spa, but you do your spa day, and then you get your buffet. So it's a full weekend where, you know, you're not going to go hungry, which is very cool.
So now Night of the Witches is actually where?
It's at Grape Street Cafe, downtown Summerlin. Right. Nightofthewitches.com is the website, so you can find out more about it. You see some of our sponsors. We've just added a few more wonderful sponsors for the swag bags. First 100 ladies will get a swag bag that has some treasures in it. That you have to be the first 100. It is a $20 admission fee, so you can go to Help Us Southern Nevada, so HELPSONV.org. And you can buy your tickets there. They're also doing another Halloween event on Saturday, but ours is on Tuesday, October 30th. And that's the one where you get your first Witch's Brew Sangria with your $20. You get your swag bag, and then you get great networking, get to meet some amazing people.
It's really, really fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Yes, I've been to your Tiara and Tequila events, and I'm telling you, the folks who show up, men and women, have a blast.
Right.
And they're for good causes.
Well,
I mean, and you want to get dressed up anyway, because I think as adults, we kind of get away from the fun. I mean, when she walked in with the Fascinator, very, you know, British wedding, I was like, oh my gosh, I get one. So excited.
Well, it looks good. I think the colors for you are perfect here because it's just enough purple to show you that you're actually wearing a hat, right? Which is very cool. The thing is that, you know, Tiaras and Tequila, we actually had a gentleman show up dressed up as Prince Charming last year. And the reason we added the wizard category is we have some very excited men that are looking to get dressed up. And last year it was sort of, you know, maybe I'd say about half the women showing up were dressed up like a witch. We had a line of people waiting to get in, all dressed up like witches. It was so cool. So if you look at the website, you'll see some of those pictures, which is very cool. So.
And it's just neat to see people just really giving ourselves permission to be kids again.
Hello.
And here's the thing. If they show up, could they possibly get a reading from Mystic Mona?
Thank you for bringing that up.
There you go.
So if you show up a little early between 5:30.
We see some of your cards.
Yes.
She has the most beautiful tarot deck. It's amazing.
So if you show up between, so it starts at 6, but if you show up between 5:30 and 7, it's first come, first serve for the readings. So if you look at these cards, look how colorful and beautiful they are.
Gorgeous.
This is the Osho Zen Tarot deck. And by the way, I picked out 2 amazing cards. This is the happiest card in the whole deck.
See, there you go.
And this is the card of diversity and connection with all cultures.
That speaks for both your aims of the event.
It is the aim of the event.
Everybody to get together, have a good time, and really just have a good feeling moving forward.
And that's what it's all about, celebrating Halloween the way we used to do as a kid. You dress up, you get into a party, you get to meet some wonderful ladies, you get to look at some amazing creativity. Because what these women come up with, even just the hats, are awesome.
It's
so
fun.
It's very cool. Very cool.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you
of course,
allowing me to mention this.
And how can they, once again, they want to go on Help Us Southern Nevada's website, they can go on your website.
Either one gets
and
you
it's
to
org.org.
Right, at HELPSONV.org or nightofthewitches.com, which is the easiest one to remember.
And then they can find you for readings way outside of this. Of course, this is what you do, right?
Yeah, www.mona.vegas.
She's good.
Thank you so much.
so much. Oh, my gosh. I love having all my guests on because I always really benefit from that personally, and what's wrong with that?
Right.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese. Of course, you can also find information on our website, WWDBTV.com, and of course, I'm on Facebook. I got the personal page, got the Rikki Cheese page. Facebook will only let me be Cheese on that page because they don't believe that my name is really Cheese. So if you're looking for my personal page, it's Rikki Queso because half my family is Hispanic. So I thought, okay, Facebook, I'll get around this.
That's right.
They can find cheese. If they were French, I'd use fromage, but either way, it's so complicated. Social's great. Thank you for joining us. Have a great Halloween and have a great holiday season. We'll be doing many more tips on how we can all have fun. Celebrate the holidays and celebrate each other. See you on the next edition of Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese.
Yay.
Yay.